they create something easier to sell. They tell themselves this isn't landing after they've been selling it for 3 days. But offers don't convert because they're good. They convert because they're familiar. They convert because you are fucking behind them.
Welcome to Did I Stutter with Jill Perick. And yeah, I probably did because I have a stuttering disability. But I'm also a multiple six-figure business and mindset coach who's here to help you shut down the mindfuckery of imposter syndrome, self-doubt, and playing the nice girl in your content so you and your brand can blow the fuck up and so you can stack the motherfucking cash. I'm holding absolutely nothing back. We're talking marketing, messaging, mindset, subconscious healing, nervous system regulation, and how to do it all even with raging anxiety, ADHD, and just being a fucking human. If fuck is one of your favorite words and nothing can get in between you, your iced coffee, or the work that you're here to do, I'm your girl. Let's dive in. Hi, my loves. Welcome back to the pod for January 2026. I cannot believe that we are in the new year, and I am dropping in to let you know that this podcast episode today is going to be actually an audio from the Rebirth Receipts. This was a free event that I put on in December, all about how I stacked $196,000 in sales over 4 months between like April and the end of November, and how I did that after having a truly shit 2025. Like, I was depressed. I was down and out at the beginning of the year. I couldn't get clients to sign contracts for 3 months. There was an offer I ran that was like $300 and it felt like pulling teeth to get anybody into that offer. And I was just like, what the fuck is happening? I had an income dip. And then I ended up having a complete rebirth halfway into 2025 and then at the end of 2025. And now I have clients who have signed on up until 2027. I am loving everything that I'm talking about and selling. I love my signature offer, The Real Deal Mastermind, so much. I love the clients inside of there. I have just done a complete 180 in my mindset, in my identity, in my money. And it is all because of this rebirth that I had. And I went so deep. I told you all of the stories inside of this free event, and you can still access that at the link in my show notes. It's completely free and you can get access to that and listen to the replays and just immerse yourself in your own rebirth for this year. Okay. And this audio was something that I dropped them on day 4, I believe. And it is just so juicy, so good that I wanted to share it with you, my podcast fam. Don't forget to DM me podcast on Instagram at your coach Jill, and you will get a special invitation to join either one-to-one coaching or the Real Deal Mastermind. I love you so much. And I hope you had an amazing holiday and Happy New Year, and let's fucking get it in 2026.
Oh my God, how are we feeling after those 2 fucking live calls? I feel like I was sweaty afterwards. I felt like I lost my voice a little bit after yesterday, but it was so fucking good. If you have not watched the replays, make sure that you do. They are all inside of this channel, and there's now a YouTube playlist that you can easily access and watch them both. And I highly, highly recommend you do it while you're taking a walk, while you're lying down and just having a break, right? While you're working out, while you're cleaning your house, like doing something with that on in the background so you can fully integrate everything I'm saying. Okay, because again, it's not about you sitting down, taking notes, trying to figure out what things you need to write down. It is more so about a full body embodiment of everything that I talked about. And today, I want to talk to you about that concept of like resetting and how you may be subtly resetting, and that is increasing the time between somebody deciding to work with you and somebody not deciding to work with you, increasing the time between like your audience seeing your offer and trusting you. And we do these things so subconsciously and so subtly, but the point of the people who are really successful and the people that are taking a lot of action and doing big, amazing things, they are usually like so quick to decide on something and then do it, decide on something and then do it. It is a non-negotiable in their head. They're not overthinking it. They're not taking a lot of time to think about, okay, am I going to sell this offer today? But what am I going to say when I sell this offer? They are just fucking doing it. And that is why I hear a lot of the time, how do you get so much done? And it's because I'm not spending the entire day overthinking. I can send an email, drop an audio, I can sell, like I can do all of these things and still have plenty of time to do everything else I need to do. Also, I don't have any kids, so that is the other thing. But I also know, and I'm not afraid of like when I do have kids, because I know that as long as I'm not overthinking and second guessing and like expanding the time between having an idea or having a thought and then actually actioning on that thought, it actually does not take a ton of time to do all of the things, to send an email, to drop an audio, to do this, to do that. So I want to start this by saying, like, a lot of people do not have a sales problem. They have a reset problem. So they keep rebuilding the same income level over and over again. And they think it's because, you know, people aren't buying, their confidence dipped, blah, 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 blah. But what's actually happening is that every time something feels uncomfortable or uncertain or things feel quiet, they are subtly resetting their business. And every reset is costing you time, momentum, trust, authority, and money. So today I want to show you like exactly where these resets can happen and how to stop creating them without burning it all down or disappearing or needing to reinvent yourself every 3 freaking months. You know what I'm saying? Because the whole concept of the rebirth receipts is like walking out of the flames, like being able to rebuild at the same time as showing up and doing everything that you've been doing. So the first reset is visibility resets, okay? Because this one can be sneaky, because you can pull back subtly if you feel embarrassed, if you're questioning yourself, if you don't have like a screenshot to share that day, and if things feel quiet. If you sold for a week straight and you didn't have anybody drop into the DMs, it's extremely subtle, but you'll catch yourself being like, should I even do this? Should I even bother? Blah, 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 blah. I'll come back when I feel better or when I'm in more self belief, or I'll show up when I feel clear again, or I'll post when I have a screenshot again. But what actually happens is every time you disappear, you reset trust with your audience, not because people are like upset that you disappeared or you didn't show up. It's because that consistency in your visibility is what creates safety, and safety is needed for people to buy from you. People need to feel safe to be able to buy from you. So visibility is not about being inspired. It's about not interrupting the pattern of you consistently showing up and showing that you are a safe person to invest in. Especially nowadays, we have the online space, and like people want real people to invest in, and they want to know that you're going to be here for the long haul. Like I invested in a coach like a couple of years ago, and something that I realized she did is she would show up only when she needed to sell and make money. So she would only show up to sell and make money, and then when she did, she would disappear. And that, to me, I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. So you don't always need to be like on and perfect, but you do need continued presence when it comes to your feed and when it comes to your content, when it comes to your stories. And because every time you stay visible, when things feel uncomfortable or neutral, you are preserving and collapsing time. You are preserving the momentum that you've been building, and you're collapsing time. And the problem is like we can't see this. It's not visible to us. And that is, I think, the number one thing for a lot of people is they get very caught up in like it feels quiet. I get caught up in like it feels quiet, right? But then I have to trust, because I have years of experience and like years of like knowing that it's not about that. And there are actually more people moving towards buying from me, dropping into the DMs, blah, 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 than I even realize if I just stay the course, right? Reset number 2 is offer reset. So this one is massive. People abandon offers that are actually really good all of the time because of discomfort. So they add a offer that they think is like lower ticket. They don't love it, but they think like, okay, people are going to want to buy this and then I can sell them into my higher ticket thing, right? They create something easier to sell. They tell themselves this isn't landing after they've been selling it for 3 days. But offers don't convert because they're good. They convert because they're familiar. They convert because you are fucking behind them. There is tons of evidence in the online space of like people joining offers because people were good at marketing them, and then they were like disappointed in the offer. Now, this isn't going to happen with any of you because you're all incredible people and like you care about helping people, and you know when somebody comes into your space, they are going to get value and you are going to deliver. So of course your offers are good, okay? But it's not about the offer. It's never about the offer. A lot of the time it's about the way that you're selling it and how you are positioning it. And that is what will cause the reset. Is people think, oh, I'm selling it for a couple of days. Nobody is trying to get in. Like, what the fuck? This has to be the offer. It's not good, blah, blah, blah. No, it's your energy in selling the offer, your consistency in selling the offer, and familiarity is created through repetition and time. So every time you abandon an offer, before it matures, before you give it enough time, you reset its earning potential. So you're not giving your audience enough time to recognize your offer, to provide that offer awareness. You're not letting belief compound, and you're not allowing the demand to catch up, and you keep starting over. Now, obviously, this is a nuanced conversation because for smaller offers, shorter time span, blah, 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 blah. And as you go on, if you are somebody who is like me and you have a signature offer, perhaps you have like a mastermind or a group container, and then you have one-to-one coaching, and then you do these smaller offers. It's possible that these smaller offers, people aren't going to be coming in off the hop, but the more you do them, the more visible you are and the more consistent you are, people start seeing like, oh, like she has something to sell now every month, or it's something new. So you're still creating familiarity with your offers. Reset number 3 is standard resets, like your standards. They collapse quietly behind the scenes in what you're charging, in timelines that you allow somebody to come in and say like, hey, I'm going to do this, and they don't. In your contracts, allowing people to get out of agreements that they agreed to, right? In your boundaries, and who you let into your world. And your business responds to the things that you are tolerating, not what you say that you want. So if you say you want these kinds of clients, but then the second that somebody comes in that is potentially not a good fit and you know they're not, and you take them on anyways, even though your intuition is screaming at you because you just want the money, you are avoiding discomfort now to experience discomfort later. So just know the discomfort is going to come, but it's not going to happen off the hop. And sometimes we need to learn. I feel like consequences and experiencing like pain are two of the most like natural ways to course correct, and sometimes people need to experience the consequence of their decision. I am definitely one of those people. Like, you could tell me, hey, don't do this, and like I'm gonna do it because I need to learn the lesson. So if that's the case, you already realize this, but your leadership is created behind the scenes in how you interact with people and how you interact with the coaches that you hire and how you honor your own investments and how you show up for them. And standards aren't tested during the good times. They're tested when things feel quiet, awkward, uncertain, all of these things, right? That's when your leadership shows. And when you are not a fully embodied leader, even if you are like spinning out behind the fucking scenes and you are freaking out over small things, you need to think about the fact that people are paying you hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars, and if somebody could fucking see you right now, what would they think? And this does not mean that you need to be perfect all of the time, but it does mean that your reactions to things need to change and you need to learn how to see yourself as a leader. And the easiest way to do that is to like be able to respect yourself and your leadership all of the time. Like how I speak to my husband has an impact on how I see myself as a leader. Because if I'm an asshole to him and I think like, oh, and I'm gonna go and like coach people and tell them to love themselves and all this shit, like that is completely contradicting. So it sounds big, it sounds like a huge undertaking, but that is a responsibility that you take as somebody who is a leader, and it really does impact how you feel you can lead, and then that confidence comes through in your content and in how you show up. And the last reset is your identity resets. Like this is the deepest one, but it really has to do with like the last reset about your standards too, around like most people lead their business like today's emotions are facts and today's results define today's confidence. So your identity shifts with your circumstances. So if you're having a good week, you're confident. If you're having a week, you're questioning everything. But that is only going to expand the time before you deciding on something and doing something. And this is identity continuity. So you deciding that no matter what the 3D looks like, no matter what the circumstances are, you're going to still show up and be that person. You are still going to show up and be the leader that knows that she can charge $10,000 for a 6-month one-to-one package or $16,000 for joining your mastermind for a year. So this is identity continuity, and it is neutralizing your emotions, your big emotions, because if you actually look at it, it's slowing you down. And having a reaction to things like a person saying no in the DM, somebody trying to break their contract, multiple things that are extremely normal, being able to like see those things and handle them like a CEO and neutralize the emotion. You can still feel it. You should absolutely still feel it all, but don't allow it to change your behavior. Don't allow it to pull you back from being visible, from holding your standards, from doing the things you said you were going to do. Okay? And so what I want you to ask yourself at the end of this freaking episode on a goddamn podcast, because that's what it turned out to be, I want you to ask yourself these questions, okay? What do I usually stop doing when things feel uncomfortable? Okay? Where do I lower my standards when I'm up against the wall? Okay? And what's the first thing that I abandon when I feel uncomfortable? So it can be offers, it can be selling, it can be your visibility. And I want you to sit with these questions because your next level is really hidden in the things that you keep dropping or subtly pulling back on or doubting yourself on when things get uncomfortable or uncertain. And this is not just like an issue with your mindset. This is a leadership pattern. Okay? So, this has been a podcast. And yesterday on the live call at the end, I did talk about joining the Real Deal Mastermind in this special invitation that you have to save over $1,500 to get an extended payment plan. And if you join before midnight tonight, you get an additional bonus of $223 off of your first payment. So your first payment would only be $888, and then you get a one-to-one call with me that you can use in the first week of January to kick off your time inside of the mastermind. But when you join, you get access to everything right away. You get access to the curriculum, to the Telegram chats, all of that fucking shit. And it's going to be incredible. And this is your next investment for 2026 when you want to scale to 10K to 20K cash funds. I love you so much. I hope you have an amazing day.